Hello, welcome, welcome. Couple breaths. Healer's prayer. It's Thursday, wrapping up week 8. Here we go. Repeat after me. I am here to be truly helpful. I am here to represent him who sent me. I do not need to worry about what to say or what to do, because he who sent me will direct me. I am content to be wherever he wishes, knowing he goes there with me. I will be healed as I let him teach me to heal. Everything's just building on itself. I've really been reflecting a lot today, just watching the mind go through its rigmarole. A lot of reflecting, a lot of looking at this whole linear time illusion, the stepping stones. What is it all for? What does it mean? What's the purpose? What are we doing here? The guiltless mind cannot suffer. Chapter 5, verse 5. So the reason that my brother is my savior is because when he triggers me, it stirs up all this stuff, all this unconscious guilt. And as I allow and I welcome that, it gets melted away. And so this is the forgiveness process. This is one of the ways to look at the forgiveness process. And the guiltless mind cannot suffer. So we touched on last night about how Christ was crucified at the end when he decided, or I don't know if he decided, but it was decided something, that he was going to drop his body and this crucifixion thing was going to happen, and he didn't suffer at all through it because he had already woken up in the dream. He was already guiltless in his mind. And so as I allow all of this junk to come up and I allow it to be washed away, this is the healing process. I'm reading chapter 18 right now, and it talks about the happy dream. And so the way I understand it at this point is the more I do this forgiveness process and I let go of the guilt in my mind, I get to see the happy dream. Because the world is a projection of my mind. When I let go of the guilt, it's no longer being projected outwards. The love that is inside of me is projected outwards. Hallelujah. My lesson yesterday was 74, and it talked about that today was a day of celebration. Go back and read it. It was such a fucking revelation because, like I said, I think it was yesterday or the day before, was when Daphne was here. This dream that I've been watching that I was quite identified with has been so fucking painful. It's been a disaster. One disaster after another. My whole childhood was a fucking disaster. moved all over the place, one disaster after another after another. My teenagehood, same thing. Lost, my son died, thrown into the mental health system, disaster after fucking disaster after fucking disaster. Painful, painful, painful. So yesterday was lesson 75. The light has come. The light has come. You are healed and you can heal. The light has come. You are saved and you can save. You are at peace, and you bring peace with you wherever you go. Darkness and turmoil and death have disappeared. The light has come. Today we celebrate the happy ending to your long dream of disaster. Oh my fucking God.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. So I've been riding that wave of like, and then I was guided today. I haven't been reading the book, front to cover, like some people maybe say that we're supposed to. I don't know. But that's not
No.
how I'm reading this book. I'm just being very guided. Like David does, it's an oracle, right? I just like, Jay, what do I need to learn today? Jay, what do we need to, Jay, show me what we're doing. And I was shown chapter 18 today. And I think I've seen parts of chapter 18 because I've definitely read The Hero of the Dream before. Arten and Persa told me to read that 5 times. They told Gary to read it 5 times, so I took that to them telling me to read it 5 times as well. So yeah, this like the happy dream. When I let go of the guilt in my mind, a happy dream gets to be seen because everything outside of me is a projection. So one of my notes here, why do you do what you do? Clarity. What's the purpose? Last night we said, what is this for? One of the most powerful questions, right? What is this for? Forgiveness. It's all for forgiveness. My only function here is forgiveness. Yeah. So just leaning in and going deeper into all of these processes. This is a highly individualized curriculum, and that's my process today. Thank you for listening. I'm joined with Christine. Thank you for showing up, Christine.
Mm-hmm. Me
Christ.
too.
Christine.
No.
I was giggling about Marcy calling you Christina. And I was thinking, we used to have a member a long time ago called Tina. And I was just thinking, Christ the Tina, like just all of these silly name things with your Christ name.
Well, I come from a predominantly French community,
Yeah.
and a lot of my friends, like I went to an English school, but a lot of kids went to French schools, right? And I can remember getting a letter from a friend, a Frenchman, and he actually, when he wrote my name on an envelope, he actually wrote Christ Chatelain. And I think it was just a French slip. You know what I mean? But it was I still remember this was like I was like 23 or something when this letter was sent to me, but I remember that, like remember Christ.
At all cost.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. You read the lesson you're at.
Yeah,
This
where are
is
you?
today's lesson. Are you ready?
Yeah. I'm sitting down and everything.
There is no end to all the peace and joy and all the miracles that I will give when I accept God's word. Why not today?
Might as well. What else you
Bing,
got
bing,
going on?
boom. No, I'd like to share this actually. So, you know how Calico, when she puts up our Zooms, she attaches a picture, like a thumbnail to the video or whatever, right?
Mhm.
Well, the video from Tuesday, wait, yeah, Tuesday, I was like, I don't know, not really paying attention to it. And then all of a sudden I saw it. And I don't know if you know what it looks like. But it looks like this. Can you see that at all?
Yeah, I can.
It's like it's the light. It's coming from the head, you know? And when I saw that, I was like, holy fuck. Because of everything that I've been going through and how I've been physically feeling it. I've been feeling it here, you know? And I saw this picture and I was like, oh my God, this is what is happening. This is what I feel like is happening. And so I took a screenshot of it so I could set it as my wallpaper. And when I was fiddling with it to take the screenshot, I was centering it on the page. And I don't know how this stuff works. I I don't know what I stumbled on, but as I was moving the picture around, a song started to play. Like a 20-second clip of a song. And I'm like, what? Is this no what is this? And but so I've got that voice going on. Like how is this possible? And then I've got the other voice going on. I'm talking to you, you know? And the song playing, it's called, hold on, Love is the Answer. And this, when I don't know if you can see this. No, it's gone. I have it saved as my lock screen. And the lyrics and the melody are just like so restful. Just rest here because love is the answer. I'm like it doesn't. It's like a glitch in the matrix. Like it doesn't even make sense that happened and that unfolded, you know. But it was for me like yes, this is happening seemingly physically, and it's scaring the hell out of you. Like you're experiencing what did Calco call it today? The light body. The what was she calling it? Oh shit, you weren't there today. Oh yeah, yeah, it was really great. It was,
My
of course,
previous spiritual teacher called it a light body, though, so I wouldn't be surprised.
it's just like the transformation when the transformation really starts to unfold and really starts to take hold. I think a lot of stuff is going to happen in the mind, in the body. Like a lot of stuff is going to happen, and this is my stuff that is happening. This is what's happening for me, and Andrew today called it, it's like experiencing another dimension, but you can't grasp, the brain cannot grasp it. It's like I say with reading the course, if I'm trying to understand it intellectually, if I'm trying to get it, if Christine is trying to get it, then the message cannot be got. Like you can't get it intellectually. It doesn't exist intellectually. It has to be felt. And everything that I'm walking through right now is definitely a felt situation. It's a feeling situation. I had another crack open tonight. I was at Andrew's for a couple of days and I came home. Actually, I heard Pink on the radio. Trust fall, and something happened when I was listening to it. And when I got home, I played it on TV like 5 or 6 times, and I just again cracked wide open, and through this crack I could feel what Christ is talking about, what the course is talking about, the message. I could feel it, the joy and the peace that has no end. I could feel it, like the thing that I really am as an identity. I could feel it, and I was freaking out. I was freaking out. But through the freaking out, I could still feel it. It was very present. So I guess I just keep going.
Yeah.
I just keep going. Yeah. Now there's a fruit fly down here. Yeah.
Yeah, and recognize that that's who you really are. experience that you had.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I am leaning into the terror.
Why?
It's like this, it's like something is gripping on, like something false is gripping on and hanging on for dear life because it's terrified it's disappearing. There's a disappearing happening. There's totally a disappearing happening. Yeah. And I have yet to finish my a lot happened yesterday and the day before yesterday between our Zooms and Calico and then the retreat I was doing. And being at Andrews, that's always a full platter on its own. And I needed to integrate, like I had to percolate and just sit with everything, everything. Yeah. And so I haven't finished my retreat yet. So that's coming up, I think. But by the time we were done our Zoom yesterday, I was like, oh God, I need to whew, I need to breathe. I need to relax. I need to relax and just be quiet and still for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, I still have the last session to watch as well from that mind retreat. Yeah, interesting. Mind watching. Mind watching. It's such a fascinating. I stopped watching TV 10 years ago. I don't really have a desire to watch TV. I don't miss it, and I'm not one of the. I talk to a lot of people. I say that, and they're like, "Yeah, I don't have cable either. I watch TV online." I'm not one of those people. I don't like. I literally don't watch TV or the internet. I watch YouTube videos about the course. I'm pretty obsessed with that. But yeah, and same with movies. Like, and I always say, like, I'm not that interested in being entertained. I just don't really have a strong desire to sit and be entertained. And having said that, I'm really leaning into the entertaining aspect of just watching the mind. Like, it really is so entertaining to just sit back and watch the shenanigans of all of it, the judgment, especially the stories. It's like watching a movie. I'm really getting that. Like, I'm so separated from it. I'm just watching them and I'm being entertained. And so I had another day like that today where I'm just like, oh yeah, wow, look at you. Yep, you're doing that thing again. Yeah, still doing that.
It's funny you say that. And for me, TV and movies have been so fucking helpful in my journey, in my this awakening process. Because the things I haven't been willing to see, like look at myself, I will see, I'm pointing at the TV, I will see on display, and then I'm like, oh fuck. Like I started practicing years ago, watching myself watch, noticing all the triggers, all the judgments, all the preferences, the murderous thoughts, like really, really engaging. Um, yeah. Oh, and God, I remember being in Mexico and we were watching, we had just started it. Oh, what's that movie called? Um, the character has something like 26 different personalities. And when the movie starts, it's a fantastic movie. I think it's on the movie Watcher's Guide because it's an amazing display of the mind and how powerful it is. Because in one personality, um, I forget the circumstances. He's diabetic or something and needs insulin. And when he's in another personality, he doesn't. Like it's the way David talks about it, like it really demonstrates the power of the mind. And for me, it cracked open my murder thoughts when I was at Namaste. The movie started, and right at the beginning of the scene, there's these teenage girls, and they're very involved with their phone. They get in the car. The dad is loading the trunk, and he gets knocked out, and the girls don't notice. So this guy with all these personalities, and this particular personality is going to kidnap them. So he gets in the driver's seat. The girls in the back have no fucking clue what's going on. They're just like this, and giggling and laughing. The girl in the front slowly starts to notice. And this is like the first few minutes of the movie. And she kind of does one of these. And she realizes what is about to happen. Like they're about to be kidnapped, right? And I lost my mind. And my inner murderer, which I don't even know if at the time I knew that was there, I like was screaming at her in my mind to like attack him. Like I wanted to shove the palm of my hand up his nose. I wanted to hear the bones crack. I wanted the blood to be on my hands. Like I wanted to, and the great thing is I got to express all that. And then after, all this rage came up. Like I was really able to see all this rage. And I was like, I gotta go to my room and I gotta watch Lord of the Rings because I gotta watch the Fire Demon. I'm the Fire Demon right now. I wanna watch the Balrog and the Mines of Moria. I was like, I gotta watch Lord of the Rings. And that's how Spirit seems to use movies and shows for me. Like if thoughts of violence have to come up, then I can watch something violent and I get to play it out. But sometimes I need something really gentle. And Big Bang Theory has been one of those really gentle experiences for me because I'm quite triggered by Sheldon. I'm quite triggered by the people pleasing, by um, the selfishness, but I get to see it in such a playful, innocent, gentle way. And I really need that sometimes. Oh my God. I feel like it saves me from myself at times. Yeah. I was just watching Smallville. I haven't watched it in about a week. And this season is all about the darkness and how it sees your doubt thoughts and your fears and it uses them and it takes over. What the fuck? It's the darkness. That's what I feel like I've been going through all this serious fucking darkness. I feel like you get that though, because like you've had experiences like mental illness experiences and hospitalizations and stuff, and I've never had that. Not from that perspective, but when this first started, I was like, oh my God, I feel like I can understand why some people, when they're going through this awakening process, have a period of time where they go crazy. They have a mental break. Something breaks. People have talked about it at Living Miracles. Like I like to share the parables like of the mental breaks that have happened, and I think one of my first glimpses of I could understand how that could happen.
There's a lot of similarities between psychosis and a spiritual awakening. I've been through
I have
both.
no doubt.
Yeah. And one of the most fascinating things I read a long time ago was an article called What a Shaman Sees in a Mental Hospital. Many other cultures deal with psychosis, aka spiritual awakening, in a much different fashion than Western society does. So it's really, the way I understand it, is just a misunderstanding of some pretty intense spiritual metaphysical experiences.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? Like,
Because when you
yeah,
lose, like, what is crazy? It's losing touch with reality. Well, what is reality? So, yeah, we are going crazy. We are losing touch with what is quote unquote real.
yeah, like, we're losing our minds.
Yeah, on purpose.
Yeah,
Yeah,
on purpose, right? Like
yeah,
deliberately.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I just happen to be surrounded by mighties in whatever way that looks, the course, the Zoom, whatever, that when I feel like I'm lost in it, I get course corrected. I like that term, course correct. Come back. Course correct. Correct your course. Yeah.
Yeah, and this dark night of the soul that you're going through, these many dark nights of the soul, I went through 6 months of it. Just my whole summer and beginning of the fall was like that. This is all of your unconscious guilt coming up to the surface. That's what the darkness is.
That's a helpful
Yeah.
reminder.
And so,
That's a
like, one of the first things I wrote down from Calico is, can you embrace the crash and burn? Because it is a celebration. This is all of your unconscious guilt coming up to be healed. That's why we celebrate the crash and burn.
yeah. Yeah, this is helpful because I don't really recognize it as guilt. I I recognize it as torment, but I don't really recognize it as guilt. And when I'm in the thick of it, like last night, I was in the thick of it. I was actually falling asleep, and then the fear would wake me up, and then I'd fall asleep, and the fear like happened like 3 or 4 times, and the fear is so thick that I don't remember that it's just the guilt coming up. I don't remember. It's like all the things that are helpful to remember. I don't. What happens is I just want the sensation to go away, and that's not really helping me.
It's just prolonging the suffering.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keith Kavanaugh makes it really simple. Like, when it comes up, we welcome it, knowing that and this is like his version of pulling back the projection, recognizing that whatever you've triggered in me, there's no cause and effect here. It's not you've done something that's upset me. It's this is my unconscious guilt coming up, and that's why I feel this way. So recognizing that that's what's happening and allowing it to happen, welcoming it and looking at it with Holy Spirit. That's what undoes it.
Mhm.
So instead of trying to make it go away, instead of distracting away from it, we go into it and we welcome it. We feel all the feelings, knowing what it really is, that it's that unconscious guilt. And maybe you just need to switch the word. Maybe just think of it as the separateness. It's just that feeling of separateness.
Yeah, the other day you said that split mind. That's really helpful too because when I think of the term split mind, for some reason right away I I have this frame of reference and I don't even know where it comes from of like the painfulness of it,
Yeah,
like the stinging pain. So
yeah.
that's really helpful.
Yeah, that comes from Kenneth Wapnick. He's constantly reminding us we have a split mind. You have a split mind. There's the ego and the Holy Spirit, and you get to choose. Choose. And just become hypersensitive about when I'm suffering. When I find myself suffering, because I've identified as the ego, I get to choose again.
Mhm.
Just watching. And it's amazing because the chaos is still there. I remember the bucking bronco of the summer that I was on. And I watch the transformation artist with all of her posts about childhood trauma. She's going through all of this childhood trauma stuff. The chaos is still happening. Pain of the transformation journey that she's on, it's all still happening. The difference, the reason that I'm no longer on the bucking bronco is because I'm not fighting it anymore. I've now stepped off the horse and I'm above the battleground and I'm just watching. And so there is no more struggle because it's a simple choice. I really see the struggle as fighting the ego, trying to fix the ego. I can't fix the ego. Like, I can't fix anything here. The ego is never going to be happy. It's never going to be satisfied. It's never going to be whole. It's never going to be anything but afraid and lonely and lacking and full of sin, guilt, and fear. That's what it is. And I get to choose not to be that. I loved yesterday's lesson. The end of the fucking disaster is here. And it's not because the disaster ended, but it's ended, it's over, because I'm no longer attached to it. That's not who I am. Fascinating. Highly entertaining to just sit back and watch. All of the hooks, we used to call them hooks in the old world. We call them here just ego traps. They're all still there. They haven't gone away. It's a huge shift in the mind because it's all coming from my mind. So when I heal my mind, I heal the world. That split mind, we're always, Kenneth Wapnick says that we are always the right mind. It's only when we identify as the wrong mind that we suffer. But we always already are the right mind. It's just an identity problem. One problem, one solution. I'm suffering because I'm choosing to identify as the separate self. There's so much peace there. It's
Well,
funny. Go
there's
ahead.
no end to all the peace and joy, remember?
Yeah, exactly. There's no
Right.
end to it. No end. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. With my mystical experiences, there was no beginning and there was no end.
That's
It
because
was just,
all there is now.
yeah.
All there is now. There is no beginning, there is no end. One of the things I'm watching, the busy bee, she's so busy in there. Because I've discovered this inner peace. I just want to share it with the world. And so I catch myself like wanting to wake up the world. And I'm reminded that there is no world and that the best that I can do for them is to wake myself up. So, what parts of me, pulling back the projection here, little Miss Transformation Artist wants to wake up the world? But parts of me are still asleep, but I can go in there and wake up. Because I had such a strong desire to help her, to help. And it's just a guise for fixing. Helping is just a guise for fixing. It's just another, it's a gentler word for it. Yeah, so just like watching, like, how can we use this new information to wake up the world? Jesus tells me that we teach by demonstrating. That's how we're going to wake up the world. Have you read the whole book yet?
The course?
Yeah.
God, no. I have no idea how much I've read and how much I haven't because I used it as an oracle for like since I was 30. That's when I got it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's a long time for using it that way. So, and I would use it fairly often. There'd be periods where I wouldn't use it at all, but I have no clue how much I haven't read.
I feel like I've read 3/4 of the text now. Today I was going through the chapters in the on the online version, just looking and asking, what haven't I seen? What haven't I seen? What haven't I seen? I think I've seen 3/4 of it. I've learned about it more than I've read it. Like, because I listen to Kenneth Wapnick, like It's Going Out of Style, and Keith Kavanaugh, and David Hoffmeister. I was listening to those three for 6 months before I picked up the course. I had three people tell me that I didn't need to do the course because I knew so much about it before I actually picked up the course. And I think I spend more time, like I'm totally obsessed with this path. I probably read for maybe 2 hours a day, but for the rest of my waking hours, I'm listening to podcasts on YouTube. It's just a constant stream of reminders. Reminders. Because it's interesting. I feel like I'm not learning anything. I'm just being reminded of the truth that I've forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I I used to have such a hard time with letting go of many things all over the place. Such attachment issues. And today I really noticed, like yesterday I mentioned my food issues, that I just like letting them slide, letting it slide, letting it slide. I don't mind, I don't mind. Caring less, caring less. If I care about that, well, I don't have to. Oh, that sounds comfortable. That sounds more comfortable than caring all this about all of this stuff. And yeah, leaning further into that, letting go, like just letting go. Do I want to carry that? It's heavy. Ugh, it feels gross, uncomfortable. And that's been a huge struggle as a transformation artist, as a coach, as a healer. Letting go. And so today I really noticed that's been part of my happy learner stance, is like, I can just let that go. I don't need to carry all this stuff anymore. I don't need to carry all this stuff anymore. That's so liberating. Is this story that I've been attached to sucks. It's been shitty. It's been a shitty fucking story. It's been a nightmarish dream, a horror story. So letting go of the identification of the things, stories, feelings, the beliefs, the limiting beliefs, I could just let all that go. I don't have to carry it anymore. It doesn't have to be a part of who I am. I choose to let it go. There's a simplicity there that wasn't there before. Hallelujah. I went down my YouTube channel today watching old videos from back in the day when I was teaching people how to heal themselves. She means well. She means well. Parts of me want to go in and delete the videos, but I'm not going to leave them there.
I feel lucky because when I started doing the videos, it took me a year and a half to be able to lean into that experience, and it took a reading with the Akashic Records, which I had never even heard of, um, to get there, and it was all me just expressing what was going on for myself at the time. So I yeah, it feels gentler somehow for me to have videos like that rather than to have videos like you're talking about for some reason. I don't know why. I think at the time it was so hard to lean in to just get those first few videos out because the guidance was like it was like an itch. It's like go make that video. Oh, I'm really scared. Go make that video. Oh, they're really scary. Like that was front and center. So yeah.
I feel very inspired to make a part two for my emergence testimony video, which I can't even watch. I've tried several times to rewatch that video. It's so trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. I can't listen to it. And that when I said that, when I told that story, I was only halfway emerged. I feel like I'm fully emerged now. I feel like um, you were talking the other night about having matrix experiences where you were looking at the code. I was trying to explain that to Marcy about a week ago, like after watching the Matrix for like the 20th time, but the first time since becoming a Course in Miracles student, it was like a whole different movie. I feel like I completely woke up in the dream, realized that I was Neo, and then the next day, as I was watching the movie, it was all like I was watching the Matrix code down the screen. It was the most bizarre fucking thing ever. So I feel like I'm totally emerged now, and I have a very different tale to weave of the story of this transformation artist. Jesus says it's time. And it's not going to be like the first one because it was like I can't watch it. I have a pretty strong stomach, but I can't watch myself go through that again. So part two will be different. Yeah. 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 I think that there's a lot of value in sharing stories, as long as we recognize what they are.
Yeah, yeah, like David's parables, I mean, they're healed, right? So they're shared with um a totally retranslated experience, like a retranslated, like every word that David says is spirit coming through, it's spirit coming through. And like for me, when I make my videos, I'm I'm still in the middle of whatever triggers going on or whatever experience is being had. Like usually what I'm sharing is what I'm going through in the moment. Mhm. And I'm only ever talking to myself anyway. That makes it a lot easier to share, to express, to do the videos, whatever, for as long as they're guided to do them, you know?
Hmm.
Their spirit is like asking me to do what I'm doing because I'm practicing something, like switching from making the videos to going live. Like that was addressing and is addressing that next level, the next, phase of feeling exposed and wanting to plan, safety and planning. There's still a little bit of a planner in there, you know, the little bit of let's get organized. Let's organize the present moment, plan for the future, organize the moment. What's the past? Um, Whatever. Yeah, there's still a little bit of that going on. And this is one of the ways, I guess, that is being addressed. Yeah, like what comes up in the moment as I don't know if you watched any of my short lives, but I my alarm goes off at 10 o'clock every morning, and that's when I start doing the lessons. And so I don't look at it lately. Purposefully, I don't look at it until the camera's on and I'm rolling. And as I'm reading it, it's the first time that I've seen it. So whatever comes up for me is alive, and there seems to be a grand purpose in that. Like there's something being exposed and being practiced. Am I willing to be vulnerable in front of a live scenario, a seemingly live scenario? Or am I holding back? Am I noticing a hold back? Is there a reservation somewhere, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah. I've had a lot come up over the last couple of years making videos. So many things, including thoughts of, oh, this video is too long. Even thoughts like that, like resistance that looks like that, and it slips in there. Some of those little subtle resistances are really slippery. Yeah, I think one of the biggest reveals for me from the beginning of the videos was the armor. What does my
Yeah.
armor look like? What does it really look like? And I was really surprised because one of the things that came up eventually, and this came through Marie, we lived together. Her, Marie, and I lived together, and she was at Living Miracles for a while too. She found this woman online called I can't remember. She has this website called Dress Your Truth, I think. Anyway, whatever. It's a numbered system, and everybody falls into one of these numbers. And I was like, what are we talking about here, Marie? Like this, what the hell are you talking about? Clothes, and we're doing the fucking course. What are you talking about? And this is what happened. So, based on whatever physical features and that kind of thing, you're either a one or two or three or four. And if you're a one, it's those really bright colors that you wear. Every color that you wear, it looks like it has kind of like a white thrown into it. And if you're a two, gray. Grays look really good with you. And every single color that you wear looks like there's a little splash of gray thrown into it. And threes are like big, chunky, tighter clothes, orangey, rusty fall kind of colors. And four is black and white and colors that have no tint, right? They're just pure color. And when she was telling me about this and we were looking at it together, oh my God, I was leaping in, making up my own mind about what category I was in and all preferences and all thought things I thought I knew about myself. Yeah, yeah, I'm a four, blah, 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 blah. Then we really get into it. When she starts reading two, I get shivers. I start to get shivers. And I was like, oh, fuck, I'm a two. Fuck me, I'm a two. And again, who fucking cares what colors you're wearing or whatever? But for me, just for me, I was shown through this process how I use color to hide, how I use fabric to hide, how I used how things fit to hide. And I did not want to wear my colors. The grays, all those colors. I felt so exposed with the colors, seeing how I was using all those other colors as a shield. And then I didn't have my shield anymore. So it was a process of, okay, now we're going to start going through your closet. And you're going to start, as you're comfortable, to get rid of everything that doesn't fall into a two category. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And it blew my mind open. Like it showed me so many layers of what the armor and the shields look like, how I was using them. And my hair, I had a whole process with hair that started in Mexico and it took about 9 haircuts to get. And in the middle of the process, I had one side that was like short, like behind my ear, short, and this side was longer. And I was so triggered. I was so triggered, Jody. My ear, I started to get an earache. Like my ear started to get sore. I felt so exposed. And it was also the side that got all fucked up from the car accident when I was a kid. So it's like all of this was like just a bright light shining out into the world, going, notice me, notice everything. I can't hide anything anymore. So just take a look because I'm on display. And that just continued and continued until I had this one specific haircut that Marie used to cut for me all the time. And fuck me, did I feel exposed at first with that haircut. And that's what it was for. You're ready to feel this exposed. So this hair is going to help you get exposed, right? Yeah. And then the haircut fell away. It was like, and I tried to keep it because I grew to really like it and I got attached to it. I got attached to how I felt about it. And spirit's like, no, it's got to go. And then I couldn't find that feeling anymore. No matter what I did to my hair, I couldn't find the feeling. I was looking to feel good in form. So now I'm growing it out. And it's all to do with attachment to the body. And there's so many layers. I can't tell you how much has been exposed through hair and clothes. So much hiding in hair and clothes. I remember being at Valley Village and I was in the men's section for some reason. And there was a gray sweater, merino wool sweater. Now, I love merino wool. I mean, I live in Edmonton. I love merino wool. And this sweater was on a hanger, but it was at the end of the aisle, not hung up with anything else. It was in a really awkward place. And I looked at it like this, and there was a mirror right there. And I was like, huh. So I went and I grabbed it and I put it in front of myself, in front of the mirror. and I was transformed to another world. It was like end scene, new scene. And it was just like, whoa, I'm somewhere else. It was wild. It was really, really wild.
Did you buy the sweater?
Yep. I still have it.
What happens when you
I was
wear
just
it?
standing there. The whole world disappeared, Jody.
Yeah.
The whole fucking world disappeared. It was just nothingness in a really beautiful way, you know? And it's like, listen to me. Get the haircuts I tell you to get. Wear the clothes I'm telling you to wear. There's a reason. I'm showing you things. Yeah.
Just a little bit of willingness.
It was so funny because, my version of earrings are these, I mean, these are quite big for me. It's like, but these teeny tiny little diamond things, and Marie, oh my God, Marie could wear padlocks. She would wear padlocks from her ears. She'd have these like big, huge, heavy, and she looked fucking beautiful, like radiant. And on me, that would look ridiculous. But on her, it was so I was embracing my stuff and she was embracing her stuff. And it was all through this seeming clothes, you know, showing where we hide. And I didn't believe it at first. I was like, Marie, what the fuck are you talking about? This website with all these categories and blah, blah, blah. Who the fuck cares? Well, I was shown. Yeah. I didn't know you were doing the retreat as well, the Francis retreat. You just have the last session to do? Me too.
Yeah, honestly, it's not doing much for me. Um, I've had a lot of thoughts of, God, I'm glad I didn't pay for this one. I would have been disappointed. So,
Really?
yeah, it's been perfect because it's just given me such an opportunity to watch the judgments in my mind about how, it wasn't good enough. And I chuckled about Calico and her making teachers wrong. Like, is this just another version of you making the teachers wrong? Like, not that they're wrong, but not not worth listening to. Like, yeah. And the movie, yeah, it's such an opportunity to watch my mind and the judgments. I have so many judgments about. Um, I don't know Frances. It's the first time that I've ever experienced her teachings. I think I've seen like maybe an interview with her and David or, something. She's not a stranger to me, and I knew I'd heard when she passed away, and I knew exactly who they were talking about when I first heard about it. So it's not like she's like brand new to me, but I never experienced her as a teacher before. And yeah, it's funny. I'm totally entertained by my mind. Totally entertained by my mind. Yeah.
Well, I've been ripped open by the whole thing, and I knew I would be. I knew something would happen.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
because
a,
I have like full trust with them, right? It just happens that way for me. I have full fucking trust. So whenever I show up, that has anything to do with them, I am so wide fucking open that I couldn't close down even if I wanted to, I don't think. So all this shit spills out, like that's just how it is for me. Yeah, and it goes back to, I mean, I've known Jason since I was 30, and like I've always felt so much trust, like such safety, like whatever I hear, from them is exactly the perfect thing. I have total trust. Yeah. And it actually shows me in other areas where I don't have trust. And god damn, is it painful. I feel like I have this experience of what true trust feels like. And when I don't have it, ugh, that shit is shit. Mhm.
Mm. Well, we all get exactly what we need, exactly when we need it.
Yeah.
It's all perfect. It's all perfectly unfolding just for us. Yeah. And it is like, it's absolutely perfect. It's absolutely perfect when what I perceive to happen is great. And it's absolutely perfect when what I perceive to happen is crappy. Either way, it's perfect
Hmm.
because the opportunity is for me to watch my mind and to watch the judgments. And if it's all sunshine and rainbows, of course I have judgments about that. They're good judgments. I'm happy about it, but I still have thoughts and feelings to watch. So it's all perfect. And it's all happening for me. And I found today that I can't tell my retreats from my advances. It's in chapter 18. Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah,
It's
it's
been so
good. It's
helpful for me because I've been a lot of, times where I had judgments of, wow, I'm really taking a step back. Like I feel like I really am not doing well, thinking arrogantly that I know.
mhm. I really like that I get to keep this retreat and watch it again because I know next time I do it, it'll be a completely different experience. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna do it again too. Yeah.
I kind of wish when they were signing, when I was signing up for these retreats, that they told me what movie was being played. They don't. They don't
No,
even give you.
no.
They don't even give you a hint at what movie
No,
it is.
no, not even when you're staying there with them. It's like, oh, it's movie night. Oh, it's movie night? Okay. What are we watching? I don't know. Nobody knows. It's
Nobody
being
knows.
preyed upon. It's being prayed. They're praying. And then they find out and they still don't tell you. They don't tell you until it's like, boom, you're in the moment. And then they tell you. It's better that way.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because it's like you have less time to make up your mind, those quick decisions, whatever about things. I mean, I got to tell you, like last time I was there, oh my fucking God, I hated the movie nights. And I remember my link was Laverne, and I'm like, Laverne, I fucking hate these movie nights. Even when I would have like transformative experiences, I would be like, oh my God, I don't want to do the movie night. And it was just resistance, like so much resistance showing up. And sometimes it would be like, well, I've already seen this movie. And then I've seen it with you guys already last year or whatever. Do we really have to watch it again? And I watched David show up and in the room and he's fucking glowing and he's seen it 15 times and he's super and I'm like, okay, I gotta shut the shit show down and show up. like like being around somebody like that, like where the presence is so clear all the time. Like you can't get away with anything. Like I couldn't get away with anything because it's so clear. Like The presence of it is so clear. Yeah.
What did you think of the movie? What did you get out of the movie, I Am David?
Wow. It was the movie I thought it was, and I had seen it. I don't have the memory of being with Living Miracles and watching it, but I know that's how it happened because I remember the talking about it, the pausing and talking. And I wouldn't have done that on my own. Like that usually happens in the moment as I sometimes I have to pause, but I knew this wasn't like that. And I was like, okay. And I tried to like push that out. I don't need to remember if this is the movie. I can just show up with the movie, you know? And so I did, and I watched my mind a bit. I wondered, a little bit, okay, when is Francis gonna pause it? Like I'm like had those kinds of thoughts and um wishing, oh, she should have paused here. Or oh, okay, they're pausing. Oh, it's taking too long. Or I even noticed there was a couple of times when I wanted to fast forward over parts of the movie that were uncomfortable for me. I can't tell you which parts those are in this moment, but I saw that like that knee jerk reaction to reach for the remote and skip. And because I was watching on my computer, I didn't have a remote. So my mind kind of leaned towards the keyboard, and I was like, "Oh no, wait, no, 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 no! This is not this place and time and scenario where you're skipping over the things that make you uncomfortable. This is the place and time and scenario where you are sitting with the things that make you uncomfortable, embracing the things that make you uncomfortable. Like so many things come up for me when I'm watching a movie. Like oh, like no, 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 get on the boat like this, or like no, 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 run through the woods, go in the woods. To don't run along in the fields out in the open. Do you know what I mean? Like do it like this, do it like this. Like there's so much chit chat, so much chatter. And of course I'm watching him knowing that he can trust at any time and be totally safe and cared for. But he keeps running, right? He climbs up and runs. And that that was illuminating and humbling. Yeah, because I'm watching myself the whole time. Yeah. And of course the way the movie's filmed, so it seems like it's Jim Caviezel's character who's doing the narrating and the talking and the voice that he hears, It's not, it's the guard, you know? And the way Francis was talking about how we even change our memories to suit our fear. We omit things. We change it. We forget. Also, that the fear can survive, the judgment can survive. It wasn't until that he was willing to look just a little deeper that we saw it was the guard. We saw the bar of soap and what happened, the exchange, between the guard and Johann, right? Like the mind is tricky. Like I cannot trust my my opinions that I think are valuable, educated, accurate. I can't even trust my memories, that my memories are accurate. And then to try to use them to determine how I should act in the moment. It's ridiculous. So I like that it's told through a 12-year-old boy. Like it's such a quiet, gentle flow, I guess, in my mind. Because he doesn't do a lot of talking. And then I watch the mighty show up. And he can trust at any time. I can trust at any time. Fully trust. But when he was in a church, it was the church, and he saw the cop with the gun, and then he got scared. All the fear came up, and then he paused, and then he looked up and said hello. When he said hello, I was like, wow. That's when the crack started to happen for me. And I love how quickly the movie's over. He says hello. They've got the ID at the police station. They're showing me the ID. He's on a plane. His mom is there. The movie's over. Boom. The movie's over so fast. As soon as he said yes, the movie's over. The movie's over so fast. And that is a brilliant demonstration for me. Brilliant. Like as soon as you say yes, like a wholehearted yes, boom, 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 boom. Three more steps and you're out. Wow. And what Frances said, do you remember what she said about the director? He directed this movie, and then he's only directed comedy since. So it's like you go deep, you get the depth, and then it's just laughter. It's just laughter. The ego, this world ends in laughter. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I will learn what I need to learn based on where I'm at in the moment, which is why I can watch it more than once and like get cracked open. Mhm. Oh God, I remember I did this a lot when I was watching the movie. I was like, well, if I was there, I would have like got him to sit down and given him a ton of food and made sure he had clothes and a bath, and you know what I mean? Like I planned out what I would do for him. I watched myself do it as though what was unfolding wasn't, you know, well, this could be going a lot fucking faster. He could say woohoo to the first bread guy, the first bakery guy, and then he would have been on the plane to see mama, on the plane to go home. Yeah. That's the part of my mind that wants me to be done with this on a quicker schedule. Yeah.
Quicker than the holy instant?
Well, quicker than spirit's plan for me, you know? I remember sending David like this is a few years ago. Some communications on Facebook, some messages, and I don't remember what I asked or what it was about, but it was for some sort of clarity, like help me. And I don't remember what he said either, but I remember feeling a little disappointed. And then I remember Sarah translating it for me, and she's like, "Yeah, we can't get hurled into heaven. It's too much. It's too much. We cannot get hurled into heaven." So, hence the pace at which we are moving, you know? That helped a lot. Because in the back of my mind, I do want to get hurled into heaven, but what I'm really saying with that is I want to skip over the really hard parts, like the really uncomfortable parts. Can I just get hurled into heaven so I don't have to do that? You know? Yeah.
I feel complete for this evening, Christine. How are you doing?
I think so. You?
Yeah, I feel good about this conversation. I'm grateful. Thank you.
Me too.
Good night.
Night.